Welcome to Space Age Rabbit, where I dive into forgotten and short lived TV shows of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I also count down the top 10 hits from each year as well. I am currently working my way through the decades, so if that interests you, please consider subscribing. Today I'll be looking at some of the forgotten and short lived TV shows of 1977. And my only rule? That these shows premiered in 1977. So let's get right to my list. First up, Blansky's Beauties. Blansky's Beauties was a short lived and often overlooked spin off of Happy Days. It starred Nancy Walker as Nancy Blansky, the cousin of Howard Cunningham. Nancy was a seasoned showbiz pro living in Las Vegas, where she managed an apartment complex full of showgirls, and she also produced their onstage review. And although Nancy was first introduced on Happy Days, which was set in the late 1950s and early 1960s, Blansky's Beauties jumped to the modern day of 1977, leading to some pretty confusing timeline issues. Nancy's nephew Joey, played by Eddie Mecca, worked alongside her. At this same time, Mecca was also playing Carmine Ragusa on Laverne and Shirley, another Happy Days spinoff set in the late 1950s and early 1960s. In this show, Joey was supposed to be Carmine's younger cousin. And one episode even had Joey mentioning that Carmine's friend Pinky Tuscadero, Bonzi's old flame on Happy Days, was coming for a visit. When Pinky shows up, her hair is slightly different, but she hasn't aged a day, despite the fact that Blansky's Beauties was set in 1977. Nancy's other nephew, Anthony, was played by Scott Baio, who would soon appear as Chachi Arcola, Bonzi's nephew, on Happy Days, making his appearance just months after Blansky's Beauties was canceled. And if that wasn't enough crossover, Pat Morita joined the cast as Arnold, the same character he played on Happy Days. But this time, instead of running his classic diner, Arnold owned a coffee shop. With all the crisscrossing characters and jumbled timelines, the show left a lot of viewers scratching their heads, and unsurprisingly, it didn't last very long. Blansky's Beauties ran for one season, 13 episodes, and aired on ABC on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Eddie's making another speech.
That means another spill. But I am ready.
Half a bounty?
Bounty's the quicker picker-upper.
Out of the cup.
Half a sheet'll prove it. Betty, if you want my vote, clean up my counter.
Next is Siznik. Originally a summer replacement, Siznik followed Nick Siznik, a retired Marine played by Ned Beatty, who takes a job as a supervisor at a community center in Washington, D.C. There he faces the challenges of having a no-nonsense female boss and trying to control a spirited group of wisecracking kids. The show's humor centered on Nick being a man slightly out of step with the modern world, and with his unusual last name frequently mispronounced and used as a running joke. Siznik ran for 2 seasons. 15 episodes were shot, but only 12 episodes aired on CBS on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's group encounters of the funniest kind when Siznik attempts to restore harmony to the community center.
This community center is full of crazy people.
Wednesday night, right after Good Time.
Next is the Starland Vocal Band Show. The Starland Vocal Band, famous for their 1976 hit Afternoon Delight, briefly ventured into television with their own variety show that ran for 6 weeks as a summer replacement. The show featured a young David Letterman years before he became a late-night legend. The show followed the typical variety format of the era, blending musical performances by the band with comedy sketches. The Starland Vocal Band Show ran for 1 season, 6 episodes, and aired on CBS on Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, before switching to Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Next, A Year at the Top. When most people think of Greg Evigan, they probably remember him from BJ and the Bear or My Two Dads. And Paul Schaefer will always be known as David Letterman's longtime musical sidekick. But back in 1977, these two joined forces for A Year at the Top. a series that follows the two aspiring musicians who leave their hometown of Boise, Idaho, and head to Hollywood in the hopes of making it big. It's there that they meet a promoter named Frederick J. Hanover, known for turning unknowns into stars. But here's the catch. Hanover is actually the devil's son. Hopes were so high for this series that a companion album titled Greg and Paul, A Year at the Top was released. But CBS canceled the show almost immediately. A Year at the Top ran for one season, 5 episodes, and aired on CBS on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Morris, your horoscope's divine.
What do the stars know?
Listen, new experience forthcoming. It's true. There's something new for Din Din.
Did the stars forget I'm finicky?
It's 9 lives. New beef and liver.
The Moroscope says check that out. Wow, 9 lives.
Next is On Our Own. On Our Own followed the lives of Julia and Maria, 2 ambitious women navigating life in New York City. Both recently promoted at the advertising agency they worked for, the two faced the challenges of balancing a work life with their personal life. Among their co-workers was the glamorous and sophisticated April Baxter, played by Dixie Carter in one of her earliest television roles. On Our Own ran for one season, 22 episodes, and aired on CBS on Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Next, The Fitzpatricks. The Fitzpatricks centered on an Irish Catholic family of 6 living in Flint, Michigan. Mike, the father, is a hard-working steelworker, while his pregnant wife Maggie picks up part-time shifts at a local diner. To help make ends meet, their 4 children take on odd jobs around the town. A young Helen Hunt played Carrie, the teenage neighbor with a crush on the 2 older Fitzpatrick boys, sparking a bit of a tension between the brothers. The Fitzpatricks ran for one season, 13 episodes, and aired on CBS on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, before moving to Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So that's what I have for this video, but I do have more 1977 shows to talk about, so make sure to keep a lookout for those videos. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching.
One thing that's different about being over 25, my skin. That's why I wear Moisture Wear makeup by CoverGirl. It actually helps skin over 25 look younger. And Moisture Wear makeup is so dewy, you need no moisturizer underneath. That's why they call it Moisture Wear. It smooths out dry skin lines, warms me with color. I look better today than I have in years.